You haven't even put intro on. We've just gone live.
I have. I bloody well have.
Well, you haven't, because we're live. Stacey hasn't even put us in.
It's took it off.
Has it?
Well, big up, everybody.
Hang on a minute. We'll try again. Hang on a minute.
Stacey's
saying I'm live.
She's muted and we're not even live. She's muted and intro up.
Honestly, I set it all up before we left last stream, Jess. It's not.
But I'm not live either.
It is. It's live.
It is live.
It is. It's live.
Hi guys, if you can see it, say hello.
You got pigs.
And welcome to the Madhouse.
No. 1 minute. Is this what you were meant to use?
In the murk of twilight's glow, tales of horror gently flow through the annals of the past. Mysteries we seek to cast. In the shadows secrets lie, truth that time cannot deny. Voices echo, stories blend. In the night they never end. True crime tales that chill your spine. Cold cases lost in time. Duo murders dark and grim. Pique your interest, drawing you in. Every mystery left behind. Whispers creeping in your mind. Covering all sorts of crime. Stories twisted but sublime. Digging deep through every sign. True crime passion so divine. Hidden clues begin to speak. Shadows dance where killers creep. Unsolved threads we strive to keep. Burning questions never sleep. Every mystery left behind. Whispers creeping in your mind. Covering all sorts of crime. Stories twisted but sublime.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome into True Crime Trio. Smash a like on the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And as always, thank you for watching. Technical difficulties as always, but before I get into anything, got to make an apology for Naomi because Naomi's used threatening behaviour on YouTube. So I'm going to make the apology for Naomi because Naomi shouldn't have said what she said. She's obviously caused me issues, and I will not be on the channel anymore because I can't have people behaving like that on this stream. So I apologise to anybody that were offended by that, including Ash, because I can't have that kind of behaviour on this channel. It's bang out of order. It's bang out of line. I block people in this channel for trolling, yet she's on here threatening people. I'm not having it. It's not going to happen anymore. I have been more than lenient when I'm on this channel. I'm not having it anymore. I'm sick to the back teeth of people taking the piss. So from now on, you won't be seeing Nye. I'm not going into it again. The reason why she ain't on here anymore is because she's used threatening behaviour towards somebody else that's bit me on the arse because of Naomi. I have to think of myself. I've put a lot of time and effort into this channel, a lot of my own money into this channel, for her to come on here and not listen to what I say and be fucking rude, yeah? I said it 8 times. My mum's even pulled me on it when I went downstairs. 8 times you told her to leave it, and 8 times she just carried on. She won't be knocking anybody out. She needs to behave, she needs to grow up, and she needs to realise that this isn't her channel to behave like that on. She doesn't behave like it on a Discord, and she won't be behaving it like it on JSY anymore. I've changed my Now TV password so you won't have access to my to watch the football anymore. I've been more than kind to you, and I am not having that kind of behaviour on here. It breaks community guidelines what you've done. So because of you, you've caused me trouble. So you won't see Nye on this channel anymore. I'll make it clear once and once only. That's why Naomi ain't on here anymore, because she cannot behave. I will not have somebody just ignore me when I tell them, leave it, and leave it. How many fucking times do I have to say it? That's the little bit of housekeeping that I've had to do before. Again, I have mentioned it and I have said it. You cannot have somebody on here that is cyberbullying somebody else, to be quite honest with you, and being threatening. What she don't understand is, like Drew has always kept saying, it doesn't affect Stacey, it doesn't affect Cruzy, it doesn't affect Naomi, it affects me and my channel. So because of her, she will not be on here anymore. I have been more than fair with her. Nobody else would have it on their channel. Do you think Savage, do you think Kate and Jim would have it on their channel? No. And I ain't having it on here. You want to threaten somebody? Threaten them on your own channel. You won't be doing it on here anymore. She is gone off this channel. Moving on. And I'm done now. I don't need to explain myself anymore. This is my channel. It's JSY Talks Football for a reason. Naomi can go do what she wants on her own channel. She don't behave like it on her Discord. She don't swear on it. She don't do it on her Twitch like it. So why do you feel the need to behave like it on my channel? It's enough. It's nothing to do with you. Like, it's nothing to do with me. It's Cruzy and Stacey's problem to deal with. If you think you're getting with Russell, you're dreaming. Simple as. You want to take the piss? You've took the piss too much out of me, and I'm done. Don't bother going into Now TV anymore, because it's all been changed, all the passwords. Josh will have it, and Josh will watch the football. Josh can behave. James can behave. These two behave. I've had enough. And that is it. We move on to the next. You can unmute yourself now. But don't you two be little bitches as well, because you both agreed with me. Don't mute yourself. Sat there.
No, we muted so you could get your message out there.
The reason I muted.
You both agreed with me, so don't sit here like, oh, Jessie's just said this on her own. You've both agreed.
I put my hands up. I'm with Jess. She was told.
I'm with Jess as well.
Stop. I even mentioned it to her. She didn't. So, end of the day, Jess.
That's why I went live, because of her.
She's been monetized. She's been told off about it. So, end of the day, yeah.
Russell, back me up, Jess. The intro and the outro was in the box before I came away from the PC. StreamYard fucking screwed us over again.
I'm back.
Please, nobody ask anymore where she is, because that's where she is. She's sin binned. I'm done. I've had enough.
No, Jess, you've got her backing, because she was told to stop. She didn't stop.
I've had enough.
She kept going on and on and on. So.
StreamYard did us dirty, guys.
No, StreamYard did us dirty. The intro. I just didn't give you an intro for some strange reason.
Because it was already in there, and it just completely deleted it all.
That does my head in.
God for so, chicken edge.
It's literally in the fucking toilet.
It's true, isn't it, Russell? You wouldn't put it in. Facts.
I'll fucking do it in tomorrow.
Big up, Paige.
Emma, I'll drop you a message after stream, sweetheart.
Well, I'm glad you picked up on it, Jules, to be honest.
Yeah, she got told. I told her as well to back off, and she wouldn't listen, so.
Sometimes you have to make hard choices in life, and that's one of my hard choices in life that I've been more than fair. It's not gossip, it's the fact that she feels like she can break YouTube violations on this stream, but what she's done is she's cost me a full stream.
Yeah.
So, are you going to pay me for what I've lost now? No. So now you can go.
She's not lying, she has been struck for that video.
Yeah, we have seen the evidence for anybody says, no, she has. We've seen the evidence to prove it as well, so.
I'm not fighting with anyone, Jules. I've said what I've needed to say. I've done what I've needed to do, and I think I've been more than fair. Can't have that on here.
I could put my feet on my desk and relax.
I've got a cushion under mine. Right, big up Vindas anyway. Moving on to crime anyway. That's my little bit of housekeeping done. I'm sorry if you like Nye. I do personally like Nye, but I have to think of the channel and the greater good of it, and I'm not losing my channel for Naomi. I'm sorry to say it. I don't think that much of a to lose 2 years worth of hard graft. And at the end of the day, what else do I am? Blocking people out of here for trolling us, yet she can sit on here and threaten people. No, not happening. It's done. We move. So just to let everybody know, if somebody asks, you can tell them. That's where she's.
Yep.
I don't have to repeat myself every day where she is. She won't be on here. No, Jules, I think I'm more than fair. Yeah, I think I'm a nice person. I think I give a lot of people a lot of credit. Yeah, but you can't keep having that sort of behaviour. And when people are just deliberately ignoring you, it's cost me. It ain't cost now. It's cost me, and I have to think of myself. You know what I'm saying? And if you can back yourself up, then that's fine. But don't do it on here because you're breaking YouTube guidelines. It's threatening behaviour. It's cyberbullying. And if I lose my channel for now over one comment that I haven't even said, I'm sure you'll lot be as pissed as I am. But anyway, we move. We move. We move. So before we do get into it, does anybody know anything about Robert Napper in the chat?
Yeah. In fact, it comes to a point where Tony went, "What's your discussion tonight about?" I went, "Hang on, I forgot his name." I know the background, so I told him the background and I told him the name.
Agreed. I do, Kev. And I it's just the fact that, right, how can I contradict anybody for coming in and trolling us if I'm going to allow that on here? And it's cost me, Kevin, to be fair. And I don't need it anymore. I don't need it. I really don't need it anymore. I've had enough. You know, I've got to a point where I've just had enough. I've had enough. And I think I've been more than fair when if I'm honest.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's too much for me.
I know absolutely nothing about this dude.
Don't you?
Nope.
Ooh.
If you're eating, finish eating, peeps. That's all I'm going to say.
I've eaten already. I've got a strong stomach, Jess. You should know about it. But when I found out you were doing him, I thought, you know what? I won't research. I'll wait until the presentation.
Okay.
He's not a very nice man, I will say that.
No,
Not at all.
So I am going into this totally blind.
I'm surprised. I thought you might have researched this, Dave. I'm really shocked.
No, when Jess said his name, I said, I don't know him. Now, his face is familiar. He's probably been like a few crime pages, but I've not actually physically know about him. Love you.
Oh.
Really, Kevin? Exactly. And I think I've been more than fair, Drew, love. You know that. But it's cost me today. I've had enough. No. I can't, can I? Can't go for anybody trolling if they're doing it.
Yeah.
Nope.
Good evening, Si.
Fuck knows, but I'm sure we'll get into that. Big up, Si, mate. Hope you're doing well. Big up, Jules, as well. And if my mum's picked up on it and she's watching it as a viewer, and that says something, and my mum don't get involved with anything I do on YouTube, but even she pulled me on it when I came off. That you can't have that on here. So just reiterate the fact that I won't be on here anymore. Don't ask again after today. I've given you my reasons why she won't be on the channel anymore, and we'll leave it at that. It won't be 2 days done and she's back on. She's done completely off the channel. I won't ever stop her coming in chat, but as far as coming on this screen goes, she's too dangerous to have on here because she can't be here. Right, first page, Trace. Let's go. Let's get into crime. We've done enough housekeeping.
Yep. So, Robert Napper, the Plumstead Ripper. Sounds awful just thinking about it. Oh, Zach. Hang on a minute, Jess.
Zach, go get in your bed now. So, while Stacey's talking about Zach, I'll get you little shit. Get in bed now.
No, he just wanted a drink. He just wanted a drink. So I'm assuming these are pictures of himself and his family then, Jess?
Well, there's his brothers and sisters growing up as kids, yeah, and that's him in court. That's him as a kid, yeah. I just thought I'd put some pictures up so anybody.
No, that's just for my clarification as well.
Because he did have brothers and sisters, did Robert Napper.
Who is Robert Napper? Robert Clive Napper, born 25th of February 1966, is an English serial killer and rapist. He had been convicted of 2 murders, 1 manslaughter, 2 sexual assaults, and 2 attempted sexual assaults. He was sentenced to indefinite in detention at Broadmoor Hospital on the 18th of December 2008 for the manslaughter of Rachel Nickell on 15th of July 1992. He was previously convicted of the 1993 double murder of Samantha Bisset and her daughter Jazmine Bisset. Napper has been diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia as well as Asperger syndrome.
Let's just say, wasn't a very nice man, but he wasn't all there neither, shall we say?
No.
Yeah.
But yet again, as you'll see in this one, the miscarriage of justice by the police in this one is absolutely amazing. I can't lie.
Oh, lovely. I forgot to book myself.
Yeah, there's one for you.
I can try.
Big up Alison by the.
Anyone else want me to speak slowly?
Just don't speak at all.
No, no.
Sorry. I got white in the
It's
morning.
Yorkshire. We talk fast.
Yorkshire. It's how we talk, we talk fast.
How we talk.
If it's true,
Right.
it's Yorkshire.
So
Thanks, Jules. I did this one, so can you see it writing? Good.
Yes, yes. I don't need my glasses on.
Napper was born in London on February 25th, 1966. His father, Brian, a driving instructor, was physically abusive to his wife, Pauline, and to all 4 of their children, of which Napper was the oldest. After they divorced, the children all went to foster care and underwent psychiatric treatment. Napper, who was 9 years old at the time of the divorce, was treated for 6 years. During the examinations, he was diagnosed with Asperger syndrome. He was also later diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia and suffered from grandiose delusions, believing himself to be a Nobel Prize winner, a well-educated millionaire, and had a master's degree in mathematics.
Which you didn't have any of them, by the way.
Oh, he had
No, it ain't a made-up story, by the way. Go check Robert Napper out and you'll find that this is
No,
all...
it's not a made-up story. It's true.
I won't sit on here and make up stories like that. It's not story time, you know.
it's
No.
crime night.
Crime night. So just put Robert Napper into YouTube. I'm sure you'll see him. And I think everybody in chat can back us up that this guy is real.
He is real.
We'll just
It
say,
was made
you know,
next
crazy
time.
to think you've got a master's degree,
Yeah.
a well-educated millionaire and a Nobel Prize winner. Oh, right, no, it's this. Bye. Pissing about
Gone.
tonight. Gone.
I couldn't see it.
AI. How can you AI Robert Napper? Can you please tell me that?
You can't.
See you later.
Anywho.
Back
All
to
right,
the
I'll keep it
story.
with normal pace then. Back to my usual pace then, guys. When he was 12 or 13, he was sexually assaulted by a family friend during a camping trip. As a result, he became incredibly timid and introverted and started bullying his siblings and spying on his younger sister when she undressed.
Mm-hmm.
At 16, Napper left school for a catering course and had a bunch of menial jobs. 2 years later, his mother threw him out when she could no longer put up with his behaviour. At the time of his arrest, he was working at a plastics factory. His first criminal offence was in 1986 when he was fined for carrying a loaded air gun, but over time, he escalated to peeping and flashing and eventually sexual assault. Wow, watch his own sister. Wow.
Yeah, but
Genuine
look at him,
reactions,
right?
guys.
When he was 12 and 13, though, he was sexually assaulted by a family friend.
Yeah. I could tell you 2 ways that.
So you're going to look at it like that and think, did that trigger him off?
Yeah. That's what I mean. When it comes to that kind of thing, it can turn someone either way. They could either go down the same route they went down, as in assaulting someone else, or they'll just get on with their life and use that experience to better themselves or to help others. Or not talk about it at all.
But a lot of kids got taken into foster care. I think they all got taken into foster care, actually.
Yeah, they did.
And then came back out. She got them back. But I know, like, when you're spying on your sister for a kill, it's quite deranged, isn't it? Let's be honest, Cruzy. There's something not right, isn't there?
Oh. Fuck that.
In it, Ruler. Must be night at fucking trolls tonight.
Yeah, just fuck them.
Just ignore them, Ruler.
Yeah. We like us
He
crying.
didn't do much of his life, did he really?
No. From 1989 to 1992, Napper is known to have sexually assaulted 2 women, sorry, and to have attempted sexual assault on 2 more. The first was a 31-year-old woman who was sexually assaulted at knife point in her Plumstead common home in front of her 2 children in August of 1989. In November, Napper's mother called the police and told them her son had confessed to a sexual assault, though he wasn't linked to any attack and wasn't even questioned. Wow.
So his mum rang the police up and said that he'd admitted it. And they couldn't find, because they thought he'd attacked somebody on Wimbledon Common, they didn't take any interest. It was just off Wimbledon Common. The house backed onto Wimbledon Common. He got in the house and sexually assaulted her in front of the kids. And he even admitted it to his mum. His mum rang the police, and because they couldn't find a record of it, they took it no further.
Yeah.
Wow.
How about that? And this was before it escalated.
Yeah.
In March of 1992, Napper attempted to sexual assault two 17-year-old girls 1 week apart on the Green Chain Walk in May. He was more successful. He was more successful, sexually assaulting a 22-year-old woman in front of a child in the same area. Napper is suspected to have been a serial rapist who was active in the area and was known as the Green Chain Rapist, whose attacks are believed to date between 1990 and 1994. Though Napper was questioned in connection with the sexual assaults, he was eliminated as a suspect. In August of 1992, the police had twice been tipped off about him by neighbours who identified him from a photo fit and asked him to give a blood sample. Both times he failed to turn up, but after a few weeks he was let off the hook anyway because he was 6'2" tall, and the rapist had been described as 5'7" tall.
Yeah, again, police not doing the work. So we have turned up the blood sample twice, and they haven't followed that up. Why haven't they followed that up? And then because we can all look, when you look at a person, you might say they're 5'4" or 5'5". So that means, because a witness said this, that means that you don't go back and interview. How piss poor is that?
It's just stupidness. And it's not like it wasn't a lot more better than back then.
No. In October the same year, he was arrested for stalking a civilian employee at the Plumstead police station, and his apartment was searched. Even though the police found a 22 caliber pistol, 2 knives, a crossbow, a cache of ammo, as well as several maps with markings, notes about how to bind and restrain people, a diary filled with suspicious entries, and a blonde woman's fitness card. He was only charged with the firearm violations. Worse yet, even though a psychiatric report described him as without a doubt an immediate threat to himself and the public, he was only given an 8-week custodial sentence and no further inquiries about the search were made. Wow.
So he actually told business that he was a danger to everybody and to himself. And they give him 8 weeks for that firearm. And that was it. Nobody ever followed up on it. So basically, he'd have done 4 weeks, say, because he got 8, so he'd have probably done 4. And then he would just let out free to go. How crazy is that?
That's crazy.
Yeah, 4 weeks. Even if that, 3 weeks, possibly.
And I mean, look what he's got: a pistol, knives, a crossbow, ammo, and he does 8 weeks. And then he's got maps with markings.
Card.
And they don't do this. And there's a psychiatrist saying, look, this guy's a danger to himself, he's a danger to the public. And they don't do anything about it. That's just lazy policing. That's so complacent. It's unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Rachel Nickell.
Well, that's the first one he went for and killed. But
right, okay, so this is the first victim then.
He showed no mercy in front. Yeah, but he did it in front of baby. They were walking through park. Baby was there.
She was walking a dog and little one with her.
Yeah. And he hid in bushes and got her.
Yep.
Rachel Jane Nickell, 23rd of November 1968 to 15th of July 1992, was a British woman who was stabbed to death on Wimbledon Common in southwest London on July 15th, 1992. The initial police investigation of the crime resulted in the arrest in controversial circumstances of an innocent man who was acquitted. Her killer, Robert Napper, was identified by a later police investigation and convicted in 2008. Nickell was walking her 2-year-old son on Wimbledon Common when she was stabbed 49 times in the neck and torso and died at the scene. A lengthy police investigation to find the perpetrator followed, during which the suspect was wrongfully charged and later acquitted before the case went cold.
So what it was with him is,
49 times.
Yep.
well, yeah, and he obviously sexually assaulted her as well. But at the time, there was another bloke walking through park at the time, and police decided to honey trap him. And that's how we got away with it. So because of what police did, that led Napper to kill somebody else as well in worse circumstances than Rachel Nickell. And that's bad enough. But what he did to the other baby and child, the woman and child, were even worse than what he did to her.
Yeah.
And this is all because of Stag.
At the time of the death, Nickell was living near Wimbledon Common with her partner, Andre Hanscombe, and their 2-year-old son, Alexander Lewis. Nickell was 23 years old at the time. On the morning of 5th of July 1992, she and Alexander were walking their dog on the Wimbledon Common. While passing through a secluded area of the common, Nickell was attacked. An assailant killed her by repeatedly stabbing and slashing her with a knife, then sexually assaulted her. The assailant fled the scene, leaving Alex physically unharmed in the vicinity. A passerby found him clinging to his mother's blood-soaked body, repeating the words, "Wake up, mummy," with a piece of paper stuck to her forehead as a bandage. Wow.
And he was screaming as well.
The lad, he's done an interview since
See, I do remember this one.
yeah, so do I. I've watched fair bits on this one.
Yeah.
This is my genuine reaction.
As well, yeah,
I mean, bless him, look at a 2-year-old putting a piece of paper and red as a bandage.
yeah. And then asking her to wake up and screaming at her. Nah, man.
And I mean, it's frenzied in its day, so you're not talking he stabbed her once or twice. He stabbed
her 49 times. Oh.
You know, that's and in certain places as well.
Yeah.
She had no chance, did she? Let's be honest. She didn't stand a chance.
No. Officers of the Metropolitan Police undertook the investigation under pressure to find the perpetrator by press coverage and public outrage at the circumstances of the murder. 32 men were questioned in connection with the killing. The investigation quickly targeted Colin Stagg, a man from Roehampton who was known to walk his dog on the common. As there were no forensic evidence linking him to the scene, the police asked Paul Britton, a criminal psychologist, to create an offender profile of the killer. They decided that he fitted the profile and asked a psychologist to assist with designing a covert operation codenamed Operation Edzell, to whether he would eliminate or implicate himself. This operation was later criticised by the media and the trial judge as effectively a honey trap.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was, a honey trap.
Yep.
Because they pushed and pushed, or the police lady pushed and pushed and pushed him to say, look, I'll have sex with you if you'll admit that you killed Rachel Nickell. And he said, I can't do that. Did Colin Stagg. Yeah. He was a sadist. He was a guy that did like to go into the Wimbledon Common and bathe or sunbathe nude. He was quite a sexual guy, but what they did to him got Napper off that lead because they took it down because he were walking in the park, and you'll see later on I've put some images of photo fits, and if you look at Stagg and you look at the photo fit, it does look more like Stagg than it does Colin Napper. But what they actually did led him to go on to worse than what he did now. You see, if you look at that photo fit, Stace, and you look at
I can see.
Stagg, it does look like him, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, it does.
It does look like him, yeah. I can see, and I'm not, the police are incompetent in this case again, but I can see why they think he was the killer because it does look like him.
He does, and I'm not saying he don't, but what gives the right then for police to set up a honey trap and have her send in, and I've seen some of the letters that she did send him sexualized letters for them to think that, look, everybody I suppose has fantasies, Stacey, that they write down on a piece of paper. It doesn't mean that he then went out and killed Rachel Nickell, does it? You know what I mean? Like, they absolutely pinned all there on Colin Stagg. So Napper basically had free rein. He was like, do you know what? Buzzing, they've gone on to somebody else.
Yeah.
And what he went through were quite bad, to be fair. And do you know what, right? Even after he got acquitted, the police actually still believed it were Colin Stagg until 2008, when he actually then got a payout by the court. Or then actually no, it wasn't him. It was Napper. I can see it from the e-fit, Stacey.
Yeah,
But
it
that
doesn't
would
like
also give them a right to do what they did, police,
No, it
because
doesn't.
nowadays that would not be allowed, honey traps. It just
Exactly.
wouldn't.
Yeah,
You
no,
couldn't
it's not.
do that. Listen, Cruzy, just because you've got, I don't know, like a crazy sexual thought, that don't mean also that you went and murdered a woman on Wimbledon Common in front of a kid as well.
Mm.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
like crazy thoughts.
Some people have weird sexual fantasies, weird sexual desires that don't act on them.
And I suppose just because you write something down, or you were writing letters to this copper, end of the day, that copper went far too far, she did.
Yeah.
She might as well have put knife in his hand and said, go do it, because that's how pressurised he was by her.
Yeah.
I can't lie. I mean, what they got away with back then, police, to now, it's absolutely craziness.
So, Operation Edsel. Though 32 men were questioned, the investigation focused on Colin Stagg, an unemployed man who often walked his dog in the area and owned books on the occult. Also, a woman identified him as perpetrator in an indecent exposure case, and the investigators took this as a sign that he was a sexual deviant. Stagg himself claimed to have been sunbathing nude in a secluded area and that the woman walked in on him.
Well, that was true, Stacey. He just was one of these that liked to go to a park and sunbathe.
Like lines, is there?
It's so cruisy. That don't mean that you're a sexual deviant because you go sunbathe naked.
Oh, it don't mean fuck all.
Oh, here we go. The
police how the police jumped to this, though.
Yeah.
Come on, cruisy, right? You're sunbathing. But that don't mean that you are then a sexual deviant that will go out and do what he did to Rachel Nickell because he was sunbathing bollock naked. That's a massive jump from somebody sunbathing to killing somebody, in my opinion.
It's
crazy.
Trying to say he's that kind of person when he's not. Well, hang on a minute, then you're sunbathing.
This is all comes from a psychologist, Cruzy, who said, well, this killer is this, and this. He likes stuff. He was diagnosed with Asperger's, Julia.
Yeah. The police had a female officer go undercover as Lizzie James and claimed to be a friend of the woman Stagg worked with. She started corresponding with him, pretending to be romantically interested in him. As the correspondence continued, Lizzie talked about sexual fantasies while Stagg, who was sexually inexperienced, mostly shared his romantic fantasies and played along with her flirtations during a taped conversation. Lizzie asked Stagg outright whether he had anything to do with Nickell's murder, saying she could only have sex with the man who committed that murder.
That's provocation.
Of course it is.
Trying to get him to say you did so she could have sex with him.
That's leading.
That's leading him, isn't it? And look, if you ever watch anything regarding him, he said, look, I just wanted a shag, basically. I'd have said, oh. And he even said that. No, but he actually does say, if you watch any documentaries on him, he said, you know, I wasn't very sexually experienced at the time. And I'll be honest with you, I just wanted to have sex. That was it. That's what he says. What she's saying there was, I'll only have sex with you if you admit to that. That's propagation. That's putting words into his mouth.
She's putting words in his mouth.
And you know what? They know how shameless the police were. When they arrested Colin Stagg, they actually brought her into interview room in front of him to see his reaction. If you put real crime in and you put his name in, there's a documentary on him, Colin Stagg.
Yeah.
Watch it. Because they've even got the interview where he's sat in there getting interviewed by police and they bring her in, that Lizzie James. They put her in front of him. They say, actually, this is who you've been talking to. Come on. How the fuck they got away with what they got away with is beyond belief. And every case we have done on this channel, I'll be honest with you, every one of them's had a miscarriage of justice in it with police or policing. Have you watched it, Drula? You see what I'm saying? Like, how much do you felt sat there knowing that he'd put all this stuff into letters for them to say, well, actually, it were all made up, basically. We just wanted you to admit that you'd killed her. And do you know what the sad thing about it is that guy could have gone to prison for the rest of his life for something that he actually didn't do. Because it wasn't him. There's a difference between having a fantasy and going out and murdering somebody. And at that time, it's just called lazy policing. I'll frame whoever I want to frame just because it's easier for us.
And because I'm under
If
pressure as
he did
well.
their job properly, he wouldn't have gone on to do what he did. It's a massive miscarriage of justice, and
Yeah,
everything
it
we've
is.
done on this channel so far, the police somewhere have had
Fucked up.
some complication in it and fucked up and not done their jobs properly. It's lazy policing.
It is. I mean, unless I've got my hand myself and go, guilty.
Yeah, but the thing is, Kev, he didn't get paid out till what, 2008?
It takes us such a long time. Do you know what? That's what pisses me off. They accused me of doing something they did wrong. They didn't do fuck all. They got put in prison for something they didn't do, and yet getting paid out.
Because he spent 13 months on remand.
Yep.
I think he did, didn't he? Spend a fair bit of time on remand.
He did.
An undercover policewoman from the Metropolitan Police Special Operations Group, SO10, contacted Stagg posing as a friend of the woman with whom he used to be in contact via a Lone Heart column. Over 5 months, she attempted to obtain information from him by feigning a romantic interest, meeting him, speaking to him on the telephone, and exchanging letters containing sexual fantasies. During a meeting in Hyde Park, they spoke about Nickell homicide. He later said that he had only played along with the topic because he wanted to pursue the romance. Profiler Paul Britton later said that he disagreed with the use of the fantasy-filled letters and knew nothing of them until after they had been sent. The undercover officer won Stagg's confidence and drew out fantasies from him that psychologist Paul Britton interpreted as violent, but he did not admit to the killing. Police released a taped conversation between the police officer and him in which he claimed to enjoy hurting people, to which he mumbled, "Please explain, as I live a quiet life. If I have disappointed you, please don't dump me. Nothing like this has happened to me before." She went on to say, "If only you had done the Wimbledon common murder, if only you had killed her, it would be all right." He replied, "I'm terribly sorry, but I haven't." Stagg was nevertheless arrested and charged on the basis of claims that he had described aspects of the murder scene that only a killer would have known.
But he didn't actually describe anything from that murder scene. Nothing at all. Yeah, all right, you have fantasies, Stacey, right? But you've got to think about it. If you're a bloke, right, and you haven't been laid for a long time, you're going to agree to anything, more or less, if you're wanting to get your leg over. Come on, Cruzy, they think different to us blokes.
Yeah, they do. And if they're trying to play, of course they're gonna. We all know that.
She's like, and then what makes me laugh is, just because this psychologist interpreted it as violent, it doesn't mean that he went and did that.
It's like reading his diary, isn't it? It's like in a diary and somebody
Yeah,
reading it.
Like, you know, private thoughts.
Yeah.
But that means you've gone out and done this, that, and other. Like, I'm sorry, but how they went round this Operation Edsel were absolutely disgusting.
I mean,
you can't. This won't happen nowadays.
No, that's like me when I was married first time round. That fuck is gone anyway. I had thoughts about what get rid of him because I was scared to leave. How do I survive and get rid of him? I went through there of what to do to get away from him. Do you know what I mean? But I never did it.
And then he says, "No, look, I haven't done it," and she's still like, "But if you had done it, I'd have slept with you." I mean, you're telling me that's not provocation on?
It's provocation. It's putting words in his mouth.
Exactly. It's absolutely crazy how she. Yeah, exactly, Drew Lorette. And honestly, if you read about him, he even says it, look, I want sexually experienced. And basically, I just wanted to get my leg over.
Yeah.
And then when she's saying there, well, if you had done it, I'd have slept with you. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And
I know families in the chat.
At Emma night again.
You know, Emma's my niece. Even though it's only by marriage, but we are family, and she's always been my niece. You know, and she knows bits about one of, but yeah, it's like what I went through with him. If I had left and got the support I needed when I left, would I have got to that point where I did something that I thought about it, about stabbing him and all sorts, but I didn't do it. Don't make me guilty.
And I mean, it wasn't just letters cruising, was it? She were meeting up in parks with him and going to picnics with him. And, you know, there were like 5 months of constant fucking thing with her.
Yeah.
They never let it, she never let it go, did she? This one just right.
It was constant on. Now,
so for 5 months, they but more or less put all their time and effort into focusing on him, whereas Napper just was sat rubbing his hands thinking, look, we move, you know what I'm saying? Well, this is true. This is true. And then it makes me laugh. Psychologist Paul Britton interpreted it as violent, but I suppose what they were putting in them letters is what he fantasized. So maybe they were violent, but that doesn't also mean that he went and did what he did.
No, it don't mean nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, what did she get for doing it? You know, what?
It was very quiet on her, didn't it? You never heard what happened to her after this investigation. No. It all kind of went hush hush. And if she's working for SO10, that's quite high up, isn't it? It's not like she were working just for normal police, like. But you never heard anything after that.
No, you didn't.
It all went very quiet, didn't it, regarding her?
Yeah, it did. But I mean. This guy's weird talks in here. I mean, how would they feel if, I mean, it can happen to anyone. I mean, male, female, you know, and because you wrote a diary, because that's technically what you've done. You've wrote a letter. It's like a diary, you write a diary, you put your thoughts and all your feelings into a diary. Somebody comes along and read it. Oh, but just because you've wrote it down on paper, don't mean you've been out and done it. Fucking hell, it's just stupid. I never had a diary. I can solve that.
He was saying a lot of things in those letters because he genuinely thought he was going to get his leg over.
Yeah.
And he even admits that if you watch the real crime documentary on him, he even admits that, look, I said what she wanted to hear because I wanted my leg over.
Yes, because she was...
9 times out of 10, blokes would, and she was a nice looking lass, wasn't she, the copper?
Yeah.
She was a very pretty lass. He even admits it, I'm a loner, just me and my dog, and he had certain books that they automatically thought, well, because he's got those books, that means he's done what he's done. Yeah, all right, it might be a bit odd and a bit strange, but there's lots of odd and strange people out there. That also doesn't mean that they have gone and murdered somebody to the extent that he did.
Yeah, no. It's weird how they can just, and still to this day, how they can go and do and charge it.
Occult books, Stacey. Occult books. They had 4 or 5 books that when they went to search his house, you know, it starred on Pentagon and stuff like that. Because the profiler had said he'd have these sort of books, that they just were like, yeah, all right, it's him. Just because he had these books. Yeah. All right, then fair enough, he might have been a bit strange and believed in stuff like that. But it also doesn't mean that he's killed somebody. And I just think that is so poor.
Yeah. It's like you can't have your own fantasies anymore without being
exactly, whether they're right or wrong, Cruzy. People are allowed their own fantasies, whether we agree with them or don't agree with them, or we think, well, that's a bit weird.
I want to be rich.
We all fantasize we win fucking lottery every week, but we don't.
So fucking weird. Oh, I don't win lottery. It's only like £2.70 a year and 4.
Yeah, if I win, every other fucking cunt's won it at the same time.
You're not fucking morons come out woodworking it.
But how she got away with what she got away with, that copper, at least she should have been done for coercion.
Intimidate, not intimidate. Coercion. That's what she's been done with. Coercion, because that's exactly what it was. Yeah, Emma, I know what you're saying, love. And you know, I'll be honest, Emma, I have spoke about a lot of things while I've been on this channel with Jess, and it's done my mental health a lot of good. So, you know, I don't hide it back no more. But to say that, it's not the time or the place, and you know enough of it anyway. And besides that, you're still my niece, and I won't tell you because it's not nice. But yeah, no, it's not nice to be accused of something you haven't done.
Especially when really, right, that's somebody's thoughts, and he still got charged with it on his thoughts. They didn't have any DNA evidence, or they didn't find the knife or bloodstained clothes or anything. They went on the word of that honey trap. That was it.
I mean, you think about it, he stabbed her 49 times. At some point in him stabbing her 49 times, did he cut himself? Did he catch himself? If you're going frenzy at something, you're going to cut yourself. Do you know
Well,
what I
let's
mean?
face it, they say he was soaked in blood, Robert Napper, when he left. And people actually witnessed somebody coming off the common covered in blood.
And he had no clothes on because he was there sunbathing. You were getting no tans.
Exactly. So how does that? He sat bollock naked sunbathing.
Yep.
Compared to another witness that see somebody coming through the park that were bloodstained, because how they described Napper was he had a belt round his shirt instead of around his trousers. Because I've watched a fair bit on him. So that, and they were bloodstained. And let's face it, Cruzy, right? His own mother reported him for it.
Yeah.
4 years previously. And he'd done this in somebody's house, attacked a woman. And police didn't even investigate it because it wasn't exactly where she said it was. Because he said on Wimbledon Common. But a house actually backed onto Wimbledon Common. And that's how he got in through the back garden into the house. And yet again, assaulted her in front of the children.
Yep.
Same with Nickell, he actually assaulted her in front of a 2-year-old kid, right?
Yep.
And he had done at least 60 to 70 sexual assaults on this guy.
Yeah, he'd done quite a lot. And it's not just that, you'd have thought that anywhere with them. I'm going to make, he hasn't done nothing ever like that in his time, but this other guy has. So why didn't they go back?
He never had a criminal record, Robert Napper, with like...
It's amazing, isn't it? How he didn't
certain things that he'd done, or he'd been violent, or he'd been done for... I don't see how you can call somebody a flasher for sat... I mean, it's not my cup of tea. I do it in my back garden, sat in a park, nude, sunbathing. But that don't mean he's a flasher neither. Somebody's walked in on that. Obviously, he wouldn't have expected him to walk in where he was anyway.
Yeah.
And they've gone on word of a witness who said, well, actually, no, I see this person sunbathing. Oh, so that means because they chose to go into the park and sunbathe naked, that they've also killed somebody, because that is a massive jump from sunbathing to going down and killing Rachel Nickell.
Yep.
And I mean, Napper had a modus operandi where he only really went for blonde women. He was a bit of a peeping Tom, because the other murder that he actually did, he was watching through the window when her and her partner were having sex. Yep. And that's what triggered him onto the next murder, Samantha Bisset. So he liked to stalk and he liked to watch people. He'd hide in bushes, in secluded areas where young girls were walking down, like cinders paths, and, that we all get told of, don't walk down them kind of roads on your own. And that's where he'd hide.
And if there's no street,
nothing.
We were always told if there's no street lights, walk in the middle of the road.
Exactly.
We were always told that if there's no lights on in the street, walk in the middle of the road. Always keep your ears open. Don't have your headphones in, because we used to have them fucking over head. Well, Walkman's got them on it. We were told how to not to walk outside of streets, the edges, if it would no street lights. Walk in the middle of the road. Always pay attention to what goes on around. But it don't matter about that kind of shit, because it happens on fields.
And that is very true, Drula.
Yeah.
And let's face it, if they'd have listened to mother when she phoned up, none of this if they'd have investigated it and got off their ass properly and done it, and not just looked into files and said, well, actually, on here, there's nothing on here of that. Yeah. All right. Well, he had done it, hasn't he?
What about this guy here? He's done this kind of thing before.
And that is so true. We used to say to women, we should have locked your door and closed your windows. Listen, if you want to sleep with your windows open and your doors open, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
and back in them days, a lot of people used to not lock the doors and not close the windows. It's not like it is today.
Nope.
Well, he used to watch his sister a lot, didn't he, Drula? He used to get off by his sister.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird.
Very.
When the case reached the Old Bailey in September 1994, Mr. Justice Ugnall ruled that the police had shown excessive zeal and had tried to incriminate Stagg by deceptive conduct of the grossest kind. He excluded all entrapment evidence on the grounds that Stagg's description of the murder were not nearly as close to the reality as the police had maintained. With no other evidence to present, the prosecution withdrew its case and Stagg was acquitted. Keith Pedder, the case's lead detective, received heavy public criticism, even after Stagg was, rightfully, as it later turned out, cleared of murder of Nickell. Pedder continued over subsequent years to promote his theory that Stagg was guilty. He told an ITV Real Kind documentary in 2001, Colin Stagg has been through a version of justice, albeit truncated, and he has been found not guilty. But I wonder whether he can actually say hand on heart that he believes people will meet him in the street and believe that. I do not believe that the system served anybody that particular day. After Stagg's acquittal, Pedder took early retirement from the police. Shock horror. He later faced corruption charges, but the case was thrown out by the judge in a pre-trial hearing on the grounds of insufficient eevidence. Oh,
Yeah.
That copper still been insistent that he'd done it, Stagg, and he actually hadn't, and he would have acquitted of it, and he still was insistent that Stagg had done it. Even in that 2011 documentary, that 2001 documentary, he's on that documentary saying, well, no, actually, I think you were wrong. And this is what it led on to now. Because they'd done that, this is what it actually led on Colin Napper to do. And it wasn't just the mum this time, he killed the daughter as well.
Yeah.
So it escalated again from being not just mum this time, mother and daughter in her own house. How close is that?
Did they say that he murdered her because she might have been able to identify him? That's why he murdered the child, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
Just like
the double murder of Samantha Bisset and Jazmine. Miss Bisset, 28, with her long blonde hair, bore more than a passing resemblance to Miss Nickell, was sexually assaulted and butchered 15 months after the killing on Wimbledon Common. On the 3rd of November 1993, Robert Napper forced his way into Miss Bisset's one-bedroom basement flat in Plumstead, stabbed her by front door, and sexually assaulted and suffocated Jazmine. He dragged Miss Bisset's body into the lounge, stripped it, and disemboweled the corpse, taking a part of it away as a trophy. Napper arranged her body on a cushion, stabbing, cutting, and carving her body more than 60 times, leaving her as if gift-wrapped like a present. The scene was so horrific, the police photographer, who took 2 years off work. Napper, who lived in Plumstead, was a serial peeping Tom and rapist. Miss Bisset's fate was sealed after she failed to close the curtains while having sex with her boyfriend, Conrad Elam, in their living room.
That's true. He were peeping on her. Caught for it, and that's why she ended up. Well, I'm not saying it's right.
No.
But that escalated even further, Stacey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he got off of watching it, fair enough, but then he got into her house and did what he did. And I mean, that photographer, that ain't bullshit. He didn't work for 2 years. It was that bad. No, but that bad. He never worked for 2 years after it. He said every time he closed his eyes, all he could see what crime scene.
In the meantime, in November of 93...
Hang on a minute.
Julia's made a point. Asperger's makes them socially awkward. Because what's her name's got it, hasn't she? That just the chase. The
Trunchbull.
She's got it. You know, and Julia's right. It does make them socially awkward. So, it's strange, isn't it? It's weird.
But when you think about it, proves it. He might, but he never spoke to any of them. He never engaged with anybody, didn't Napper?
No, he didn't.
He was on his own doing all this. Yeah. You know, like hiding in the garden and watching them through windows and stuff like that. So in a sense, I suppose he was socially awkward in that respect.
That's why I like my curtains and blinds closed at night time, because I always feel like somebody over back watching.
I always have mine closed, to be fair, but this is even worse when you read this bit.
Yeah, I know this. So
in the meantime, in November of 1993, Napper invaded the home of Samantha Bisset and brutally stabbed her to death and eviscerated her body. He also cut out a piece of her womb and took it as a trophy. Afterwards, he went to the bedroom of her 4-year-old daughter, Jazmine, sexually assaulted and suffocated her, leaving her body in the bed and covering up as though she was asleep, and surrounding the bed with toys. Wow.
Yeah. And we never ever found that piece of her womb, neither, that he took from Samantha's body. Never ever found it.
No.
Wherever that went. To kill the mother's bad enough, but then to go kill the 4-year-old girl.
Yeah.
It's and this, you've got to think, guys, if they'd have done the job properly and not concentrated on Napper when they did, she'd have still been alive now. If they'd have actually done the job properly. So it progressed from getting somebody on Wimbledon Common and doing what he did to Rachel Nickell to actually going twofold, which is a lot worse, this one. Cutting pieces of the womb out, killing a 4-year-old girl, all because they decided to honey trap somebody that was innocent.
Yeah.
How the police could live with themselves after what they'd done, personally, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. I would have had nightmares.
Yeah.
At it. And it's beyond belief what he did.
Perpetrator of the Bisset murders was nicknamed the Plumstead Ripper, even though Britain worked the case as well as the Nickell murder and the Green Chain sexual assaults. He didn't connect the cases. When Napper's fingerprints were found on the Bisset crime scene and matched to the police records, the police arrested him. In May of 1994, he was charged with a double murder. In October of the following year, he pleaded guilty, claiming diminished responsibility or diminished capacity. Sorry. He also admitted to 2 sexual assaults and 2 attempted sexual assaults on the Green Chain Walk. Held at high security Broadmoor Hospital, he was also questioned about the Nickell murder in 1995, but denied any involvement.
No, she would have copper drill. She worked for police.
Yeah, just.
But he got away with it, really, didn't he? Because he never went to prison, didn't Napper. He got diminished responsibility, and he's still in Broadmoor to this day now. And when they interviewed him in 1995, and he said, "No, I didn't do it," that was it. It wasn't like they investigated it. He said, "No, I didn't do it," and that was it. They walked away because they thought, well, to be fair, you're never going to come out of prison again. It's not like they pushed it to investigate it, see if they could find if he had done it or not. They kind of just took his word for it at that time and went, "Do you know what? He's never really going to come out. He's not mentally all there." And he'd done a hell of a lot more than those 2 sexual assaults and 2 attempted. They reckon he did about 80 sexual assaults, proper. And probably about another 25 attempted. And he got away with it for years and years. And nobody batted an eyelid. It's only because his fingerprints were caught and he'd been done for that firearm in 86 that they actually got him. Because if not, God knows how many more he'd have gone on to do. Seriously, crazy.
Unthinkable. It's really unthinkable how many more he would have gone for.
Meanwhile, Colin Stagg continued going through the legal system in his trial for the Nichols murder. During a committal hearing, the judge excluded any evidence the undercover operation produced, describing it as deceptive conduct of the grossest kind and calling it a honey trap, a kind of entrapment operation which isn't legally admissible in the UK. And the prosecution withdrew its case. In September of 1994, Stagg was formally acquitted. To the public's outrage, the police told Nichols' father they will keep the case open but not look for alternative suspects.
So stop there, right? So they're still saying it there. It wasn't him.
Yeah.
We're not looking for anybody else. It wasn't him. So that they're even still saying it to this day then. Oh, well, actually, do you know what? We're not bothered about anybody else because it is Nichols. It is him that's done it. Even though they know it's a honey trap and even fucking judges saying, they're still saying, actually, we're not looking for anybody else. That is absolutely crazy. So, do you know the amount of shit
bent on blaming Stagg for something he didn't do?
Crazy. The amount of shit he took from the press, from the public. They nearly had him on up.
Yeah.
Who was it?
It was awful. He got...
What awful for him,
Yeah, he couldn't go nowhere.
Police were still saying, do you know what? We're not looking for anybody else. Even though he'd been charged with what he'd been charged with, Napper, they were still insistent that he'd done that. Yeah. How fucking bad's that? And the copper had all 3 cases and never linked any of them.
And yet, the similarities. Yeah, with each case. And how can you not spot them?
As a copper.
Yeah.
You're working on all 3 cases, so you know the modus operandi for all 3 cases. You've seen all the evidence and you're not saying it. Do you know what? These 3 are very similar.
Yeah, exactly.
He thought they were all individual cases committed by, say, Napper done this one, Stag had done this one, and then the green train sexual assaults were done by somebody totally different.
Yeah.
How
Well, they're all
poor
done by the same guy.
police.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. It's just such a miscarriage of justice that Stag got accused of something he didn't do it, and the life he had afterwards horrendous, you know. And for the fact knowing that they had the cases in front of them and they could see there were connections between all three of them, and they still went for Stag. Just a load of fucking lazy police officers that didn't do their job correctly, that cost people's lives and a child.
And if the judge can see it and he's chucked it out of court, why can't the police see it? This is what I'm saying. You can't. It's just so poor.
Yeah.
It doesn't believe that if they'd have done the job right, Cruzy, and if they'd have done it in the first time in 86 when his mum rang police and said, look, he's come home. I mean, what kid in the right mind comes home and says they've done something to somebody if they haven't done it? And because it didn't fit the attachment area or the record was done on the street name, not on Wimbledon Common, they thought, actually, no, he's telling Porky Pies. So we're not going to investigate it.
How many people travel to do a murder? You know, it's stupid. Oh, well, murders don't travel.
Rosie, look at that Steve Wright, right? He got done for 5 prostitutes in Ipswich. He's just been charged for another murder in 1999. That were nowhere near fucking Ipswich.
Exactly. He's the one that dumped the bodies in the water.
Yeah, he dumped the bodies in ditches, didn't he? But that murder had been unsolved for how long? And he's only just got done for that last week. Sorry, he got put in prison. He got another life sentence on Friday. But that took them 28 years to realise that was Steve Wright. How many more has Steve Wright done before in 1999? Because they reckon he's done loads.
Yeah,
and that's the exact same. His mum disowned him after that, Cruzy. So his mum must have thought something, because after that, she never had nothing else to do with him.
Yeah. He lost a lot, Big Stag. A lot.
A hell of a lot. You know, a bit like, there's a difference between, like, you know, like Earl of Crime Watch, who got Jill Dando.
Jill Dando, yeah.
I can't 100% say him, whether he's guilty or not. But Stag was 150% innocent. There was nothing to link him with it, other than certain witnesses that had caught him sunbathing. There were no physical evidence on him. And yet, still after being acquitted, that copper said, you know what, we're not looking for anybody else. We still believe it's him.
Yeah.
And Stag were hounded by the press.
Yeah.
They made his life a living hell.
Yeah.
And look at all them years it took for him to realise that he'd killed Rachel Nickell. 2008.
A lot.
And that's what? Another 18 years? After 1990, something, 92, 93, when he'd killed it, 15 years.
And to
crazy.
Be hounded for so long. And
he was hounded. He was hounded. Every newspaper he were on.
Yeah, he never had a life after all that. You know, how would you go from being unknown to being, you've done it, but you haven't done it, to have a judge acquit you with it, then to get compensation, and yet the police said, no, we're keeping it up because we still believe it's him that did it.
Yeah, but the thing is, Cruzy, right? When he got acquitted, he never got compensation after he was acquitted. When they realised in 2008 that Robert Napper had done it, then he got, I think, 700 and some £1,000 in compensation. Because when that copper came out after he'd been acquitted and he stood on the Old Bailey, he even said it, we're not looking for anybody else in connection with this murder. Yeah. So they still believed, even then, that he'd been a Colin Stag. Yeah. So then the papers are all saying, which they did, they hounded him. News at World, Daily Mirror, Sun, all those sort of newspapers. Yeah. They're saying, look, he had done it. And that guy was hounded for another 16 years after that, until advances in DNA and forensics then linked him to Napper. Yeah. And then he got paid out. So that guy must have lived a living hell for another 16 years because of his sexual fantasies that the police set him up with anyway. Yeah.
And not be able to go out your front door without being handed by somebody public joy.
Exactly. He never got a job after that. He could never work. No, he could never have a partner again because they all were like, nah, you've done this, and this.
Yeah, what they're thinking, no kids. What if they had no kids? Because they'll think it's same. Yeah, no, it's just horrific. The onslaught of what he got was diabolical.
What?
You know,
And he was terrorised, Cruzy. He had his house done. He was spat at in the street.
Oh, yeah.
He took a lot of shit. Yeah, he did. He took a hell of a lot of shit for summer. He didn't do. He said to a copper in a letter that they absolutely twisted it, interpreted it in the wrong way, so that they could say, well, actually, no, this means, and even the judge said it, look, what he said in them letters were nowhere linked to what he'd said. It was nothing to do with crime scenes. It was nothing about Wimbledon Common.
Yeah.
It was telling us for life, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Crime Watch, and they think that's what the link put it, because they did a
it was something to do with things abroad, wasn't it?
Yeah, they think that that's what one of the crimes are covered, and they think it was connected, but they couldn't never prove it.
And it's true. He was tarnished for the rest of his life. That is so true. That
I mean, you've got to walk around with that on your shoulder every day you walk out the front door.
I know he tried to commit suicide a couple of times. Did Colin Stagg?
Yeah. Awful.
And I suppose, I don't know, I suppose the e-fit that he had done probably was him walking in park with his dog, because he used to walk in that park every day. So I suppose it probably was right, the e-fit, in the respect of he had walked in Wimbledon Common, but he hadn't done what he'd done.
No. And how many people walk in a park with a dog?
God, lots of people, Cruzy.
Yeah. Exactly, Drew. Like, you know, how are you supposed to go from living a normal life to being accused of something you hadn't done, to being hounded to a point where you tried to do yourself in, to try and go back to normal? This is just no way. I mean, you'd have to move away, change his name, start everything from fresh, you know, and that is wrong, because he did fuck all. It wasn't him. And if they hadn't have made the mistakes they made, half of what happened afterwards wouldn't have happened. So they should have been accountable for what they did by making their mistakes and still saying it was Stagg when they knew for a fact it wasn't Stagg. They just didn't want to let go of it because they thought, we're just going to do him because what he wrote on a piece of paper. You know, I find it she's back. I find it disgusting beyond belief.
Right, let's go.
Well, you what? Go fuck off. We're not right now. You go away. Right, where you been, bitch?
The case went cold until 2002, when a review of the case examined the evidence using more modern technology. After 18 months of testing, they reported that they had found a male DNA source on Nickell's clothes that didn't match her boyfriend or her son, and a footprint on the scene that were matched to Napper's metal toolbox.
Wait, you forgot that bit.
Yeah, they also found tiny paint flecks.
They also found tiny paint flecks on in the son's hair, combings, and a footprint on the scene that were matched to Napper's metal toolbox. Thank you. In 2004, the DNA evidence linked Napper to the case, and on December 18th...
Just stop a minute. Listen, Niall, yeah? We're not talking football. Drula's politely asked you already. This is a crime stream. We don't talk about football in this stream. Maybe come back tomorrow. Drula's politely asked you. If next time, Drula will time you out. Simple as.
Okay,
Ghosted. Yeah.
Toolbox.
Yeah. On December 18th, 2008, 16 years after the killing, he was convicted of manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility. It is unlikely that he will ever be released. Exonerated Colin Stagg received a formal public apology from the police, as well as a record financial compensation of £700,000.
Is that it? Sorry. Is that? Oh, sorry. We've got Ron Bloke now. Sorry. We apologise, Colin. It's only took us 16 years. We're sorry. We hope it hasn't affected you. Or your mental health. Or anyhow, 700 grand. Like, fuck. That's a travesty.
That is a travesty.
16 years later, even though he'd been acquitted of it. And it took him 16 years later to pay him out. So that tells me that for 16 years, they still believe he'd done it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying now. How the fuck can they say he's done it and he's never done anything since? I mean, fucking hell, you couldn't even fart without them saying it with him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So for 16 years, right, they've been saying it's him. And yet he's done no crime. He's done nothing bad in the 16 years of all this happening. So oh yeah, he's innocent now.
Yeah, because then the DNA evidence that they had actually then contradicted what they'd said anyway, and they were like, actually, we can't get away with this any longer. It won't do. And actually, there's a sorry, and there's £700,000 for your inconvenience. You've ruined his fucking life. Facts.
You're going to get them 16 years back?
Never.
Nope.
No money amounts to the amount of years that he's had to have that hanging over his head. Absolutely not.
And he meets somebody and he goes, my name's Colin Stagg and I've just got to make sure you understand that I haven't done this, but they're thinking I did do it, but I didn't. I can promise you I didn't do it.
Any woman trust him, Cruzy? Would you trust him?
No.
I wouldn't trust him. Nobody would. So you've ruined that guy's life for lazy policing. That's as simple as it is.
If I knew him before the crime that he didn't do, then maybe I would believe him. Do you know what I mean? Because I already knew him, I knew his personality, I knew what it was like. But coming in after the fact, nah, no chance. I wouldn't go near him with the barge pole. Let's stay well there.
Napper is also believed to have committed most of or all of the attacks attributed to the Green Chain Rapist, named after a Green Chain Walk, a string of leafy pathways linking large parts of South East London, who carried out at least 70 savage attacks across South East London over a 4-year period ending in 1994. The earliest of the Green Chain rapes had been linked to Napper and were those he attempted in 1995. Napper is known to have kept detailed records of the sites of potential and actual attacks on women. During the investigation into sexual assaults, Napper had been eliminated due to his 6'2" height, as detectives had decided to exclude anyone over 6 foot, based on the description of a 5'7" rapist. However, there are conflicting witness reports of the rapist's height, and Napper walked with a stoop. The investigation to find Nickell's murderer resulted in an attempted prosecution of an innocent man, Colin Stagg, until in 2004, advances in DNA profiling revealed Napper's connection to the case. On 18th of December 2008, Napper was convicted of the manslaughter of Nickell on the grounds of disparagement of responsibility. He also admitted to 4 other attacks on women. Napper was sentenced to an indefinite detention at Broadmoor Hospital. In his summing up at the Old Bailey, Mr. Justice Griffiths Williams said to Napper, "You are, in any view, a very dangerous man."
I agree. 1 minute, Stacey. What is it today?
All the dudes coming out.
Why don't you just shut the fuck up and get out of here? How about that?
I'm sure we're drawing on the case.
Yeah.
I've deleted one comment already. I can't see that comment, so.
Because they come from fucking vertical stream. And look at this. Oh, because coppers misguided the height. So because they said he were 5'7" and he were over 6 foot, means he didn't do it. How about he take his DNA, make sure he ain't fucking done it? Not just disregarding, because the height difference.
The thing is, right, if they had DNA, why don't they do the DNA on Colin Stagg to see if it were him?
Is he the other one? No,
Exactly. Exactly. Come on. There's so many miscarriages of justice in this. Yeah. It's absolutely unreal.
It is.
But he did. He used to have a map, Stacey, right? And if you watch the documentary, he had a map of like Plumstead, Wimbledon Common. And in red pen, he'd mark where he'd been and all the women that he'd assaulted in that time. And the map, I don't think I've put it on here, but if you watch the documentary, on the map, there's that many of these dots. And when they went back and checked the police, they actually found that all these women had been attacked there. How bad's that?
Wow.
Because he used to hide it in his toolbox. And that's how they caught him, with red flecks of paint off that toolbox that went young and there. And when they went back and checked, this part, on this map, actually, there was a woman attacked there. There was a woman attacked there. And he'd attacked over 70 women.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot.
I've banned them anyway, Jess, by the way.
Big up.
Napper's victims were usually young, pretty, blonde Caucasian women aged in their late teens to early 30s. He planned attacks in great detail, marking locations of foxholes, paths, and surveillance spots on maps. During these sexual assaults, he would sometimes threaten his victim with a knife or choke them into submission with a ligature. Some of the victims were also attacked in front of their young children. When Napper killed his victims, he usually did so by stabbing them repeatedly and eviscerating them post-mortem. The exception was his last victim, Jazmine Bisset, who was suffocated instead of being stabbed and was not eviscerated.
Bad, isn't it? Like that guy. And I mean, I know he's got Asperger's disorder, but in a lot of with Asperger's as well, right? Ain't that like how they like obsess as well? And that's how he was.
Yes, it's a form of autism.
Yeah, well, like he would, research it down to the last detail.
Yeah, that's definitely an autistic trait. That constant obsession.
Yeah,
Exactly the same. If he'll fix it in something, and my mum will tell you. So I can select a specific video, and you'll watch it over and over and over. Literally, not just 3 times. It's constant.
Even as about a sweet, he'll go on about it constantly.
As you know,
yeah.
As you know, you've all heard him. You know what I mean? So yeah, bloody hell, Zach's hard for. He never shuts up.
Timeline.
God, yes.
Hull police missed chances to catch Robert Napper for the Nickell killing. August 1989, woman sexually assaulted in her home in Plumstead in front of her 2 children, believed to be the first of Napper's sex attacks. November of the same year, Napper's mother tells police her son has claimed to be a rapist, but officers find no record of the crime. March 92, 2 women sexually assaulted close to Green Chain Walk in southeast London. May of the same year, young mother assaulted as she walks with her daughter in a buggy in southeast London.
I remember that one.
July of the same year, Rachel Nickell murdered as she walks on Wimbledon Common, southwest London, with a 2-year-old son Alex. The killer stabbed her 49 times and mutilated her body in a frenzied attack. August again of the same year, Robert Napper is questioned about the Green Chain sexual assaults. After callers tell police he looks like an e-fit of the suspect. Napper is asked to give a DNA sample but does not turn up for the appointments, later dismissed as a suspect because he is too tall.
They should have gone to him and took a DNA test. They should have done that.
Exactly.
They should have forced him.
Yeah,
why did we go back and chase him up for not having this blood test done on him? I thought I'd put this in to show you how much the police had actually missed and the opportunities that they had to get him before he carried on what he did. Because I know for a fact, if me or you or Stacey would have missed a blood test, they'd have been knocking on the door.
Oh, yeah.
Asking why we'd missed this blood test. Why would he any different? What? He was discounted because somebody said he was 5'7" and Napper was 6 foot?
6'2", yeah.
Witnesses can get things wrong as well. Witnesses, can also get things wrong. But it will like, we'll just take their word as gospel because it really doesn't matter. Which is quite crazy to think that they have had all these opportunities, and if they'd have done the job in the 80s or late 80s, he wouldn't have done what he'd done now. He wouldn't have gone on to kill Samantha Bisset. He wouldn't have gone on to do that on Wimbledon Common. It's absolutely gross negligence on their behalf, in my opinion. It's awful.
They are responsible for their deaths, are the police, whether they like it or not. If they have had this fixation on Stag, they'd have caught Napper and got it done and dusted, but they were so fixated on Stag, it's their fault that they got killed.
Yeah, agreed. Yep.
So
September 92, Colin Stagg arrested as a suspect for the Nickell murder. He is questioned, then released. October 92, Napper is arrested after weapons found in his flat, pleads guilty and is jailed for 8 weeks. January of 93, police begin the Honey Trap operation designed to get Stagg to confess to undercover policewoman Lizzie James, who begins writing sexually explicit letters to the suspect. Dr. Paul Britton, a forensic psychologist who inspired the television character Cracker, was appointed as a close advisor to the police team. April 93, Napper's fingerprints found on a gun buried in Winds Common, South East London. No action taken against him. July of 93, Napper stopped and questioned as a peeping Tom close to the Green Chain Walk. Released after brief questioning, but officer notes that he should be considered as possible rapist indecency type suspect. August 93, Colin Stagg arrested and charged with the murder of Rachel Nickell. November 93, Samantha Bisset and her daughter Jazmine murdered in their flat in Plumstead, South East London. The child had been sexually assaulted before being smothered. Samantha's body had been mutilated after death. Dr. Britton, the psychologist, is asked to consider if this could be the same killer who murdered Miss Nickell. He rules out that possibility.
How can you rule it out?
Wow.
No, this is why I thought I'd put this in right and like
Yeah.
timeline, because I just thought it'd get you thinking how much the war, like miscarriage of justice in it.
Yeah.
I used to watch Cracker as well.
May
didn't know that.
94, Knapp arrested for the murders of Samantha and Jazmine Bisset after tests revealed the fingerprints in the murder flat, thought to have been one of the victims, matched his prints. July of 94, 2 Green Chain rape victims pick out Napper as their attacker at an identity parade. September of 94, Mr. Justice Ognall dismisses the case against Colin Stagg, saying the honey trap operation designed was an attempt to incriminate a suspect by positive and deceptive conduct of the grossest kind. Outside court, Andrew Nickell, the murdered woman's father, says the police are not looking for anyone else.
There you go.
November 94, Napper interviewed for the first time about Nickell murder, but denies any involvement. So another year, October 95, Napper pleads guilty to the manslaughter of Miss Bisset and her daughter. He also admits sexual assault and 2 attempted sexual assaults in 92 and is sent indefinitely to Broadmoor High Security Hospital. December 95, Napper interviewed about the Nickell murder again and denies ever being on Wimbledon Common. 99, March of 99, so a few years later, undercover female officer who laid honey trap for Stagg issues writ against police after taking 18 months off work and then retiring from the force early, saying she had suffered post-traumatic stress syndrome as a result of the case.
Oh,
Stop there a minute. So she suffered post-traumatic stress, and you don't think Napper did? You the one that led him down bloody garden path.
Yeah.
She never worked after that though. She never worked for police again. Never.
Thing is, she knew
Oh,
what was
pretty quiet. I think she emigrated.
Did she emigrate?
emigrated. I'm sure she emigrated. I think she went out to live in Australia. She emigrated, I can tell you that much. Yeah, she left and
She knew
emigrated.
she knew she was part of an injustice of crime, and she just thought, "Fuck it."
That's what I'm.
Well, she probably got a big pension and she had a lot of money to live on. And I know she left Britain, left the police force and went out to live because she said she couldn't live. And I think because in the end, I think even she were like, do you know what? Even I've gone down the wrong road of this. And she couldn't live with herself knowing that they tried to entrap somebody else and he went on to kill Samantha Bisset. She couldn't live with it. And I know that she left England and went and lived in America, in Australia. She emigrated.
The guilt.
She couldn't live with the guilt of knowing that their actions led to a 4-year-old girl obviously being assaulted and smothered. And not just what he did, but what he did to Samantha Bisset as well, like taking a part of her womb. They never found that part of the womb as well. And he never disclosed where they left that.
Want to know.
I'm going to say this now.
No, they never did.
Almost
Because he got it for diminished potato stew. I don't personally agree with the fact that he got done for just manslaughter, but because he got manslaughter due to diminished responsibilities, in my opinion, he should have been charged with murder and he should have gone to a prison, HMP. But because he had schizophrenia, because he had Asperger's syndrome, they put him in Broadmoor and that was it. And it is bad. And I mean, he's been in there since 95, so what we on 2005? 31 years. I'll show you the picture of him, potato stew, right at the end where you won't recognise him. Not like the same person. It's bad. I think he should have got murder. It's a cop out.
April of 2002, sorry. LGC Forensics asked to examine the scientific material produced using profile. October of the same year, Dr. Britton cleared of 7 counts of misconduct at a hearing by the British Psychology Society after a formal complaint by Stagg. 2004, full murder investigation reopened with Napper as chief suspect.
Still in 2004, he's still the chief. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
How the fuck, right? So this guy, this Dr. Britain, right? He got struck off after this because it wasn't just him that he'd fucked up on. There were loads of cases he'd done, and they all got chucked out of court. And some of these people were actually guilty, but because he'd been on fucking case, they all got chucked out of court.
Wow.
Yeah.
Napper charged. Sorry, November 2007. Napper charged with the murder of Miss Nickell and committed for trial. August of 2008, Colin Stagg receives £706,000 compensation from a discretionary scheme set up toward victims of miscarriages of justice.
Not enough.
And too long, Cruisy.
Yeah.
This is like how his area where he did commit all these crimes in London. And this was over a 4-year period, what he went through. And that's 3 murders and at least 80 sexual assaults.
Yeah.
It's quite a big area as well.
Mm.
And he didn't just, the range from, I think his youngest were 12 and his oldest being about 54. And they all had blonde hair. He didn't go for women with brown hair or ginger hair or all like that. They were all beautiful blonde ladies.
Yeah,
and I mean, not only do what he did, and you see, the thing that you get you, right? When he killed Rachel Nickell, he never touched the little boy. Never touched him. Never did anything to him. But the little girl with long hair, that were totally different.
Yeah.
It just shows you that he never had an interest in little boys or all like that.
Yep.
It were all women. And
the
little girl with blonde hair. He was an absolute warped individual that unfortunately met the most fucking corrupt police officers that you could ever meet in your life. And to be honest with you, would Samantha Bisset still be alive now if they'd have done their job properly? Most probably, yes. Would Rachel Nickell still be alive now if they'd have took that phone call serious from his own mother? Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of women would have been saved if they would have just done their job properly. Because the cruelty and the brutality of what he did, it's craziness, you know.
Yeah.
And innocent, whether or not he had fantasies that were warped, that don't mean that you're a murderer neither. And that poor guy had to wait till 2008 to be cleared and to be paid out by police, even though he was acquitted in 1994. So that still means for another, 10, 15 years, they still thought he actually had done it.
Yeah.
How bad's that?
That's awful.
And again, on this channel, police again, miscarriage of justice because they don't do the job properly.
No, they don't.
They're too lazy to do it. Like Kev said earlier, he was a bit of a weak link. Oh, we'll blame him. Won't matter.
Yeah.
Stag's a bit of a weird one. He likes to sunbathe in nude. All right, well, we'll pin it on them. And then, listen, sunbathing in nude is totally different to going and doing what he did. And listen, I suppose there's lots of people, or myself, or you, or Stacey in the time, are probably sunbathed in the garden naked, or had just a bra on and a pair of knickers to sunbathe. Does that mean we go out and murder people? No. How many tourist beaches are abroad that are nudist beaches abroad that they walk round? Absolute fucking incompetence by them police. And that man was an evil man. Not just evil, warped. Evil man.
Yeah. I said that though. If they'd have done the job right first, then they'd still be alive. And it's their fault they're not.
I agree.
They should be accountable for it.
Well, they tried to do them, didn't they, in court? Because there wasn't enough evidence. It got chucked out of court. They did try to do him the copper for corruption, but they couldn't prove it, so it got chucked out of court. No, they couldn't prove it.
It should have got done. They should have got done for the fact that he turned around and said that they're not looking for nobody else, even though standard being clear.
That's slander, Cruisy, because he's been found not guilty, and at that time the double jeopardy law wasn't in place. That only got changed later on. So when you got found not guilty, whether or not they thought you were guilty or not, there were no double jeopardy. So your sentence, it was what it was. You were not guilty. And you will find that many cases that I have picked on this channel regarding myself and English crimes, the majority of them, somewhere along the line, have got a miscarriage of justice or lazy police work in them. Fact.
Yeah.
I can't speak for Stacey and America because me and Stacey do totally different crimes. But if they'd have been on the ball, it wouldn't have happened. And I feel so sorry. And you know what? Her lad's still alive now. The lad that were found against her body. And even he says it. If they'd have done the job. Do you know it was that bad that when Rachel Nickell were killed on Wimbledon Common, they even arrested a partner at the time and tried to pin it on him.
Wow.
Yeah, they tried to say it were him, and it wasn't him. And they even interviewed the little lad and tried to get the little lad to say it with his dad. And the little lad were only 2 at the time.
Yeah.
And he said no, he had ginger hair. He described somebody totally different to Napper, did the little lad. And they still didn't take the little lad's word for it. And no, it was him, wasn't it? You watch some of that. A couple of documentaries on it. It's
the only one
it's
I can think
corruption and it's incompetence, in my opinion.
The one that I've got coming up where the police were stupid was John Wayne Gacy. And that's the only one that's on my head right now that I can think of where there was police incompetence.
But see, the thing is, right, I aren't being funny, but how many things have gone to court because police have blamed somebody for something they haven't done?
Yeah.
You know,
and
it's not, and I'm not just saying back then, even now it still goes on. You know, it's just no wonder the people don't trust the police. I mean, things have changed since back then, where reason why women didn't report the rapes or the attacks is because they were ashamed to do so. You know?
They weren't exactly compassionate, the police back then, were they?
No,
they weren't bothered.
No,
well, look at Jack Ripper. They weren't bothered because they were prostitutes.
Yeah.
And that is spot on. Yeah, he was. That is spot on, by the way.
Wow.
Yes, that is spot on, yes.
The thing is also that it's just the fact that because they were female, they deserved it. No. That's why women did not report any attacks like that to the police because of the stigma that came with it. Oh, well, you must have been asking for it. It must have been wearing a short skirt.
Yes.
And that's how it used to go. Nowadays, it's not like that, which is...
It's a bit better now because it were more men back in police force back then, wasn't it? There weren't as many women coppers back then. And now it's grown out and there's a lot more women coppers in the police force. But back in 70s and 80s, there weren't many women police. And I've told you look into Leslie Molseed, you look at Stephen Klitschko, he spent 16 years in prison for the crime he didn't do. And he told them, I'm impotent. Yes, I can produce semen, but I can't have children. They don't have any floaters. And he told them that. And even the witness, the prosecution wouldn't even call the doctor because they knew they'd say, well, he's impotent. And it took him 16 years, and that bloke only ended up with 6 months out, and he died. And I'm doing that. That's another one with miscarriage of justice. Look at the Cardiff 6, another one. They hadn't done it. Look at Stephen Lawrence. There's plenty of cases that you look at and you think, you know what? How has this been allowed to happen?
Yeah, so much. But then again, you go back to women who were married, especially that era as well, 80s, early 90s. A woman couldn't go to a police court, or a policewoman go, or a man go, my husband's raping me. Well, you're married to him, so it's fine. He's allowed to do that. No, he's not. It's still the same. And that's what I came up against when I went to court to get my divorce and stuff, and I had to explain the reasons why we did a divorce. I said, well, domestic violence, rape. I said, and when told that rape comes with being married, he went, no, it don't. The judge was absolutely fantastic. I got my divorce. I got a year where he couldn't come anywhere near me, but he died. So I'm lucky that he got it. You know what I mean? So it's changed since then. The stigma was always there. In fact, now the stigma's there, but not like it used to be. It's a lot more easier now. A lot more easy for women to report it. And men, you see, that's it. It's gone from the women being hard to tell what's happened. The men are the same. They find it shameful to go report it when they've been attacked by their partners, male or female. It works both ways. You know, it's awful that they can't go and tell somebody that their wife or their girlfriend's beating them up. They're so ashamed to do it because they're a man and they should be stronger than that. It's not about being strong. It's about being strong-willed and going and telling somebody about who's going to believe you. That's the only problem that is with still the justice system today. It's fucked. Totally fucked. Yes, that's what we're called. Marital rape.
And it's sad because they wouldn't have gone through what they'd have gone through now if they'd have done the job. Because technically, when mother's ringing up police and saying, my son's, there's something not right with him. And they went, oh, actually, well, nobody's reported it at this area.
Yeah.
He must have had this fascination. He wasn't even bothered that there were people in the house.
Yeah.
That's crazy, Cruzy. That's like a whole new scale.
I mean,
and you know what? He's got it cushy in Broadmoor, really, and let's be honest. It's not like spending it in HMP. No, he's got it very, very cushy in the fact that it's not like a prison in Broadmoor.
His own cell, his own bed, his own things all over the wall, cushy pillars and quilt and TV and video and shit like that. You know, it's got it cushy. He's done murder. He's committed murder. And what? Oh, PlayStation.
That's right. PlayStation. Yep. See, for me, I don't think he should have been charged with diminished responsibilities. No, I think he should have gone to prison and to prison for life, because being in a mental institute is something totally different to being where he is now, where he is, and he's still alive. He's still in prison. And
the family's lost generations. Because that's exactly what it is. It's not just lost.
Guilty as charged, isn't it? For me, he's guilty as charged.
Yeah. It's not.
There's no undividing thing with it, is there? There's no. Oh, I'm not sure. He's guilty as charged.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And if they'd have done if the police had done the job properly, this could have been way solved in '86. Never mind in 2008. Because to be honest with you, if they'd have just done their job properly, this wouldn't have happened now. It wouldn't have happened in '93. It wouldn't have happened in '94. And those two women and that little girl would have still been alive.
Yes.
And it's bad when a police photographer wouldn't work for 2 years after that. Because when he closed his eyes, all he could see was that murder scene. And he ended up actually leaving the police force, and he ended up being a taxi driver in London because it affected him that much that he could never work again because of what he see. It was that bad. And I've seen pictures at crime scene. I personally didn't want to put them on channel because I thought it'd scare people, if I'm honest, and I didn't want to do that. But, if you want to look at me at your own free peril, then that's up to you guys. But I can understand why he never worked again. I'll be honest with you, because that crime scene was absolutely devastating. And there's plenty of documentaries out there where you can watch it, you can see it. And, that he was, but they say he was not all there. He knew what he was doing. He planned it. He was methodic. He used to detail the routes down to a T, Cruiser, where to hide. And then he'd come back and mark it off. That's come on.
How can it get done for diminished responsibility for everyone he's done? When you want to get done for it. He knew he was calculated. He knew what he was doing. He knew where to go. He knew what he was doing. He carried the tax out.
He used to go to their flats and sit outside and watch people. I suppose we all close the curtains, but probably back in them times, they didn't. And that's how he picked her, because she was having sex with her husband in front room on sofa. Yeah. He was peeping Tom getting off on her, came back the next day, broke into the house and killed her.
Yeah, exactly. He knew what he was doing.
Of course he did. Yeah.
In my case, that is not diminished responsibility. That's going out, a planned attack.
He was an evil man. And I'm not saying that probably hadn't stemmed from his childhood when he was sexually assaulted by a friend on a camping trip, because he was. And I'm not saying, but you have that choice when you grow up as well to know right from wrong. And what he did, it would make you think, I'd never do that to anybody else. And the things that he did, taking people's wombs and assaulting them in front of the children and murdering them in front of the children, you know exactly what you were doing. I don't believe with diminished responsibility. I think he was an absolute evil man.
Yeah.
And whether or not he had autism and he had Asperger's, there's lots of people out there that have got Asperger's, that have got autism, that have got problems, but they don't go do what he did neither, you know. And if you listen to the psychiatrist who told him, this man is evil beyond belief, he is a danger to people, he's a danger to himself, and if the police would have listened, they'd have sectioned him there and then, and those two murders wouldn't have happened. No, we got 8 weeks for having firearms and were let back out. So, you know, there's failings on the mental health side of it, the doctor side of it, the prison side of it, the police side of it. There's failures all over, in my opinion. And, you know, those coppers, whether they're alive still now or not, have to live to the day that they die with the fact that they didn't do their job properly. And Robert Napper was allowed to go on for as long as he did because they thought, oh, do you know what? You don't suit the profile, but you do.
Even though you're innocent, I'm going to fuck all wrong. We're going to go with you.
Because they knew, if they'd have said, look, actually, do you know what? We know Colin Stagg haven't done it. They'd look absolute idiots, you know. It were covering their own arse. It was nothing to do with Napper in that respect. It was the fact that, look, we've got to cover our own asses here because we've gone for that long for Stagg that if we now change our tune, we're going to look absolute idiots here and we might end up facing a prosecution. So even after the judge had said what he'd said, they still were insistent. Actually, no, we're not looking for anybody else in this crime. Now, with certain people, I do get that. Like with Susie Lampu, when that copper come out of there and said, do you know what? We're not looking for anybody else in this case. We do believe he'd done it. I genuinely believe that one. I do believe he'd done it. They just can't prove it. But with him, that's totally different. It was entrapment. It was totally different. And I think, do you know what? You shouldn't have been allowed to get away with what you were getting away with anyway. And they were that shameless. After they'd done the honey trap, they took him into interview room. They took her into interview room when Colin was sat there. But there she is. This is who you've been talking to for that last 5 months.
So it just makes you worry, doesn't it? About.
Listen, and if they wouldn't have had his fingerprints, Cruzy, beggars believe how many more he could have gone on to do.
Exactly. One is an accident, twice is a mistake, more than that is a culprit. And you knew what we were doing. I'm sorry. For me, diminished responsibility is doing something that you're not 100% sure. So I say, like, you're in a fight with somebody and you're pushing them back the edge off it. That's not intentional. You know, you're in a fight with somebody. Unless it's intentional. But I don't see how they can call it diminished responsibility when he knew what he was doing. And he did know what he was doing. That's the problem I have with it.
He did because he only had certain people he'd attack, Cruzy. So he never went for like brunettes or all like that. He'd always go blondes. Even the sexual assaults, it was all blonde women. He changed it. He just went for certain people. And I mean, I think he looked at him as a kid.
Yeah.
He looks quite a weird child, if I'm honest. And he used to spy on his sister. And maybe that could have all led from what happened to him as a child. But you know right from wrong. And he knew right from wrong, in my opinion. I'm not saying he didn't have disabilities. I'm not saying, but I also believe that there's plenty of people in this world that have grown up with Asperger's that haven't gone on to commit the crimes that he has.
Yeah.
So, you know.
He'd done one. His mum reported it and then denied it. Made his mum look cold.
They didn't go through with it because no reports were made.
Well, it was reported, but because he'd said it had happened on Wimbledon Common and it had actually happened. So where Wimbledon Common was, there were houses that led onto the back of Wimbledon Common. So he'd come through Wimbledon Common, through her garden and got into the house. So because he wasn't exact what he'd said, they were like, oh, actually, this didn't happen. But if they'd have actually looked into it a bit better, Stacey, and actually got off their ass and done it, they'd have realised that his mother were telling the truth because, let's face it, not many people go up to the mother and say, I've done this if they haven't done it, Stace. So he knew what he'd done.
Yeah.
He knew what he'd done. And and I'll show you the picture of him now. So before we wrap this one up, I will show you a picture of what he looks like now before I wrap up. So this is not long ago in this. Now, you won't recognise him, I'll be honest with you. If you see him and he got realised, I'll show you this, right? This is what he actually looks like now. This isn't long back, but if he were released, I suppose you won't recognise him. I'll be honest with you. Just get rid of this advert here. See this here? With the coat on and the glasses? That's Napper now at Broadmoor. You won't recognise him, would you?
Would you fuck?
You wouldn't think it was the same person, would you?
No.
There you go. These are some of his like photos. That's like, I mean, look at that
I've just been
space
looking
where
at
he's
the
gone.
website,
Yeah.
Just been looking at the website. We're looking for the crime scene photos you were talking about.
Oh no, I'll send you a thing. I'll send you a thing of
Yeah,
it.
please do. I'm not being. I know it sounds gruesome, but I want to be able to see.
And that's her parents there speaking outside the Old Bailey when he pleaded guilty to manslaughter. That's her daughter. I mean, look, come on, Stace. How can you do that? But so how old's he now? I'd say we're in his 60s. He's in his 60s.
I'll tell you now. Just give me 2 seconds.
That's him there coming out. I mean, and that's him as a child. He hadn't really changed much as a child. And that was his sister that he used to spy on with.
It's 59.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's just turned 59.
But if you look at it, suppose if he got released on Quiet, right? Just say if he just example it. Would you recognise him? Because I wouldn't know that one after.
He's 60 this month, Jess.
It looks totally different, doesn't it? And this is him now, Alison, allowed free reign to walk round Broadmoor.
Yep.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Listen, Potato Stew, we've been doing this. Oh, we've probably done about 10 of these now. And there's a lot of hard work that go into them. Me and Stace will put 4 to 5 hours of our own free time into each of these. Stacey does the American serial killers. I do the English, and then we're going to start cold cases up on the channel as well. Cruiser comes on through input as well. Cruiser's got a lot going on. Me and Stacey do put a lot of hard work into them. And that's why I'm at the point now with this channel where I think I've been more than fair with a lot of stuff that goes on. And I'm not going to put this kind of work in anymore to have it absolutely screwed up by somebody that don't think before they open their mouth. And this is what I'm trying to say. I love Night to bits, and, you know, it is what it is. But you won't see Nye on here anymore. I can't have threatening behaviour on this channel because I'll be honest with you guys, she's lost me a full stream today, demonetisation, because of her threatening behaviour. Now, whatever she thinks off screen, that's her own business, like us. But you can't be saying that on here. And I can't removing trolls on here if she's going to do itself and the same thing. So just because Alison wanting at start, I'll just, if anybody else comes in, that's the reason why I won't be on this channel anymore.
Yeah,
you know, like I said to Stace and Nat Cruz, if they want to speak to her, that's fine. But regarding wrestling, I won't be on when I'm not on this stream as well. I've been more than fair and I've had enough. I've lost. I can't afford to lose this channel. I have put 2 years solid work into this channel. I can't afford to lose it. It's not like Nye on Twitch, who she just does it out of enjoyment. This is my business. This is my livelihood. And I'm not prepared to lose this channel because somebody can't keep their mouth shut, to be quite honest with you. And we do put a lot of hard work into it. And I'm not prepared to lose it as well, because these crime streams are polished and we do enjoy them. And the only one that we call quizzes that we do put a lot of work into. Can't afford to lose the channel. Look, now, these two have got things going on in their personal life. I understand that Nye has an opinion on Ash, but keep your opinions to yourself, because threatening behaviour is a violation of YouTube terms and conditions. She's lost me a full streams monetisation to that. So I can't personally afford to lose this channel because Nye can't help herself. And I've warned Nye numerous of times. My mum counted today, Jess, she told her 8 times to leave it and she still went on. I can't have that on here. I can't have somebody trolling and we're telling them not to do it when she's doing the self and same thing. And whether or not I like Nye and whether or not I like the Formula One and stuff like that, I didn't even get an apology off Nye today. Do you know what I got off Nye today? Don't want your steering wheel, and I won't be around anymore. Not a sorry, nothing. So that shows to me that, to be honest with you, if you don't behave on your own channel like that, what gives you the right to come onto this channel and behave like it? Me and Stace have a laugh on here, same as Cruz, but I don't insult people, and she's done it numerous of times and I've let it go. Today, YouTube have flagged it. These two aren't lying, they won't lie for me.
No,
YouTube flagged it up. Can't do that, Kev. This is my livelihood. So no. And I think I've been more than fair.
And that's one thing I'm not, is a liar. And we've seen it, so.
And I like now, you know, that there's no bad, you know, it's just the fact that when you warn somebody and you keep saying it to them, and I said it 8 times, and she still carries on and being insistent, what she forgets is YouTube do have guidelines. Yeah, they can get away with her telling people to get to that. But I can't afford for her to do that again, and then I'll lose my channel, because that's 2 years' work I've put in. And it's upsetting. She won't listen to me. I've been more than fair. Stacey's been more than fair. We were fucking off our streams all the time. We've both bit of tongue with her. But when Mrs. Biddy's coming to me and saying, look, Jess, you can't have this. When you're saying on there about people trolling you and you're letting somebody threaten somebody else, whether she's right or wrong what she's saying, keep it to yourself and have that argument off screen. Don't bring it on to here, because I won't do it on Kate and Jim's and start being rude and abusive on their channel. I certainly won't go on to Stacey or Naomi's Discord and do it. And it's a shame, because I do like Nye. But when somebody won't listen to you, it gets to a point where you think, you know what, I've got to do what's best for the channel. And the best thing for the channel is for her to not be on this channel anymore. I apologise to anybody that does like Naomi here. I apologise to anybody that did want to watch the Formula One. But you know what? It ain't that hard for me and Stacey to do a Formula One stream neither, and Cruisy for that matter. And we can bring Ricardo on here. So we can still do the Formula One, because to be honest with you, it ain't that hard to follow. We can do a lot on here. But I know
F1.
I have to think of myself and be a bit selfish and think, do you know what? I think I've been fair. I gave her a Scarborough warning a couple of weeks ago when she insulted Ash about how she looks. She hadn't listened to a word I've said. I sat on here, and do you know what? I was that close to ending stream because I just wanted her to shut up. I'm trying to watch the football, yeah? People ain't listening to what I'm saying, yeah? I've took people off here for less. Stu insulted Renee's dad. Stu hasn't been back on here since, and that was once. How many times have I given Nye? A lot. It is what it is. We moved from it, but just to clarify, so nobody else asked for a week, that's why she's not on here anymore. She can't even send me an apology and said, you know what, I was out of order today. We'll see it. And then she tries to put the spin on it and make Stacey feel guilty. Like Stacey's got to choose between me and Nye. Stacey will make that choice, whatever she wants to do. If Stacey wants to pick Nye and she don't come in here more, that's fine. But I won't put Stacey in that position even and said, you know what, if you talk to Nye, you don't come in here. I'm not like that. What Stacey and Nye do off stream is up to them. But before long, that and Naomi's is going to get her in a lot of trouble. So before anything else comes along on this channel, and I get a lot of backbite for it, like Drula says, because it's me that gets it, nobody else. It's time to move. It's time to move. Josh behaves. James behaves. Cruz and Stacey, we have a laugh, but they behave. She's too much for me. It's too much it's too much of a risk, and I think I've been more than fair. And this will be last year of it from me. We move on the channel. We move. We've had to do what's right for us. We can do Formula One. It's not a problem. I'm sure me, Stacey, and Cruisy between ourselves can do Formula One.
Oh, I know a lot about F1.
But she's too much. And she's going to cause me before long to lose this channel. And I haven't told you guys a lot of stuff I've been fucked over for now. It's enough. It's enough. And I was raging when I came off here. You asked these, I put my hand through the desk. I was livid because she will not listen to what I'm saying.
But so, we sat like that backstage.
Them two shit yourself because they know what I'm like. I have got a temper. I didn't want to show it to you guys on screen, so I sat quiet. I went backstage and I said, look what I've been done for today because of her in the mouth.
Yeah.
And it isn't me that's doing it. It's not Stace. It's not Josh. It's Nye. I've been more than fair. I've brought her on here when no one else would have her on their channels. But she's took the piss, to be blunt. So the Now TV stops. It all stops. That's it. It stops. The book stops with me today. I have been kind. I've done a lot for Nye off stream. And she's just put it back in my face and done that. She ignored me today when I politely asked 8 times to stop it. And she still consistently went on and kept going on. Can't have that on here. Bit of respect. That's all I'm asking. Don't ask for a lot. I just ask you not to be like that. And that's class as cyber trolling. And do you know if YouTube, if Ash actually rang up YouTube, please could look into Naomi because it's classed as threatening behaviour. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to lose my channel for now. I'm not. And that's how I'm going to leave it, you know. We've done. I've explained what I've had to explain. I won't be explaining it again. I'm sure you guys in chat can explain to anybody that hasn't been in tonight where Naomi is. But as far as I'm concerned, I have done what I've needed to do today for the sanity of this channel, because you guys enjoy it. I know these two enjoy it. It's not worth losing it for now. It ain't. And I've been close a couple of times when I can't lie. We've had off at cusp saying things. I've had to turn a few times I've had to turn the monetization off the streams before YouTube have got to me, because what she's been saying today is it. And that's how it's going to be left. So please don't come for me and say, I'll bring her back on. Don't put me in an awkward position, because unfortunately for now, she won't be coming back on. Josh can behave, and he's 18. He's 3 years younger than Naomi. She's very immature, and I think she needs to grow up and learn. And unfortunately for me, I ain't got the time for that. I put 2 years into this channel. I ain't prepared to lose it for now. And if you spoke to any content creator, they would say the same. And on that bombshell, has anybody got else? Do you want to tell them who you're doing next week, Stacey, before we wrap up?
Hang on a minute, I've just got rid of this person.
Yeah.
Leave them, Stacey. All right. Is that even it's unacceptable behaviour, which is right? He's right.
No, it was the first thing. Where about burkas? That was the reason.
I do wear one, but not on here. Anyway.
Next week, it is the son of Sam, David Berkowitz, sorry.
Do you know, anybody think you get really excited at crime shit? Yes, we do.
I do. I like my crime.
We do put a lot of work into it.
Yeah. And James, what do you mean you fall asleep with F1, you cheeky sod? Yeah, you having words, but
That's true. Like, don't worry about it, yeah. Unfortunately, Nye's not mature enough to do those sort of streams, but Dicaro can come on, and I will do the Formula One with Dicaro, and Dicaro can learn me, because I'm all about learning. But unfortunately for Naomi, it's not for her in the YouTube scene. I'm sorry. But if Stacey gets a phone call tomorrow and says, do you know what, police are involved, Ash has gone to police, that brings all her family into it as well. I'm sure she don't need it. And I certainly don't need it. So unfortunately for now, it will last stream, Kevin, the Liverpool. It's not even getting excited. It's just being ignorant. Julia, like you're not listening to what I'm saying.
David
No, Berkowitz. David Berkowitz.
And we don't want to know if you hurt your wrist while football was on. Well, doing football, you know, each to their own.
Listen, we all have feelings off screen, but sometimes we just keep it to ourselves.
Yeah.
But same with me, same with Stacey, and same with Sue. But she's dangerous, and she'll get me in a lot of trouble, and I love Nye. And it's a shame it's had to come to this, but sometimes I have to think of the greater good of my mental health and myself. And I'm not prepared to lose channel for Nye. I'm sorry that might seem selfish to some people, but I have put my own money, time and effort, and put my own family second in a lot of respects to do what I've done on this channel, and I'm not going to lose it for now. And if a mum wants to ring me up, I'll explain to a mum as well. I'm not bothered. But until now I can grow up and behave, I'm not prepared to have it on this channel. I'm sorry. It never comes between Stacey and Nye. They can still stay friends, but as far as I'm concerned, if I never hear from Nye again at the minute, it will be a blessing in disguise. I'm sorry, guys, but she's upset me, and she's lost me £70 in money today because of her mouth. And on that bombshell, we're going to wrap up, I think, peeps.
Yep. I'm going to my car.
We will be back tomorrow. I might do some streams tomorrow. I might do a bit of the Winter Olympics tomorrow, if I can.
Let me know, Jessica. I'll jump on when I get back. And I'll send links out.
Oh, Dicaro, you've missed the full stream, mate. We're done. We've wrapped up, mate. We're done. We're done.
A bit late, what do you mean?
He does live in Australia, Mum. So, you know.
Oh,
it's acceptable.
What time is it for you, Dicaro? Like,
isn't there like 8 hours in front or something like that? 8-9 hours in front.
Oh, James.
But
he's a left
thanks to everybody. I hope you respect my wishes on the channel. Sorry to say what I've had to say tonight. It's a shame, but sometimes you have to do for the greater good. You folk live in a weird time zone, 9 a.m. Well, it's 10 past 10, and it's bedtime for me. So bless up to everybody locked in. We'll be back tomorrow with some Winter Olympics. Might be after 3 o'clock, maybe beforehand, depending on what time I wake up. Big up to everybody that's joined us. I hope you do respect my wishes. I'd appreciate it if you don't bring it up anymore on channel. It's done with. A bit like other people that have been removed off channel. We move. We don't continue. We don't want to hear about it. And on that bombshell, it's a good night from me.
It's a good night from her.
It's a good night from all of us.
11 hours. Fucking
Exactly, Paige. Exactly.
They celebrate Christmas before us.
This is true. We'll be back next week with the crime as always. Back with the football again tomorrow night. All week on the football. Going to do some athletic streams as well. Well, Olympic streams. Take care of yourself as always. Thank you to everybody that supports the channel. We will be back tomorrow. Please take care of yourself. Keep it friendly. And as always, sometimes, and this is for one person only, use that before you open that. Take care, peeps. We will be back tomorrow. Be up to everybody. Take care of yourselves. And as always, thanks for watching the stream. Peace out. And if there's no intro, outro,
no,
blame
outro.
Stacey.
I've triple checked it. There's an outro.
Like and share, we shall see you next time on True Crime Trio. Make the right choices, and please don't have nightmares. Till next time.